Okay, so this is my update video for my 40 days of Lent. For those of you who don't know, I basically gave up my voice for 40 days. I didn't talk, didn't sing, and yeah, I did that for 40 days. Well, I took Sundays off, so that's how it works. So you do the week and then it goes over the space of 46 days. And yeah, for 40 days I didn't say anything. And so yeah, this is an update of how it was for me, because it ended just over a week ago. It was not last Sunday, the Sunday before, which was Easter Sunday. And yeah, so I guess for some of you this is the first time you've heard me talk since a couple of months, I guess, literally. So hello to you. But yeah, so I just wanted to share with you what I went through, how I felt, what I don't know, what went on in my head, and like what I felt was happening, what God was saying to me, and just how it went. So we started off with day one, and I didn't quite realise the gravity of the situation I was getting myself into. So it hit me very quickly that I couldn't talk, and it's pretty obvious because that's what I'm going to do. But when you realise you can't communicate, you can't put across yourself, you can't do anything, but life carries on, and it's like, whoa, okay. I have to look after myself, I have to get from A to B, but I can't talk to anyone. I have to go and get food, but I can't talk to anyone. I have to just like do basic things, but I can't talk to anybody. And yeah, it was a bit crazy really jumping in the deep end, because I didn't expect it. I thought like, oh, you know, have a bit of time to think about this, to plan that, and it's not like an everyday thing. You can't just like think like, oh, well, I'll have a meeting about it next week and put a strategy in place and then, you know, draw up a draft of something. It's like, this is real time, this is real life, it's happening right in front of me. And yeah, I guess on my part it was a bit stupid not realising that was going to happen, but it hit me a lot harder than I realised. But I slowly got into it, you know. I found alternative ways, you know. You can, this was my best friend ever for 40 days. Like I just wouldn't let it go, and like I took a portable charger. I had to have battery, otherwise I just literally couldn't communicate. Trying to play charades with someone to like get across a message. So stuff like this. So okay, so to me that's I am walking to like the movie or to the cinemas or something. To some other people that became eyeball finger fishing. It's like, what do I do with that? I can't tell you what I mean. I can't communicate it across, and like it just doesn't go down well. But it was fun. It was definitely fun learning for the first few days, for the first week or so actually, like just realising what was happening to me and what I got myself into. It was very much a sense of, wow, okay, this is real, this is happening. Gonna need to do something about this. And the reaction I got of people for the first few days, I definitely got people saying, "Hi Tom, how are you Tom? Why are you not talking Tom?" And not speaking is probably one of the greatest conversation starters in the world, unfortunately. And I just couldn't do anything about it. I tried to mime myself, I tried to type it, but it's really slow and you keep people waiting and it gets awkward, and it's like, well, I guess I'm learning out of that. That was interesting. But yeah, so the first like week or week and a half, like first 10 days of Lent, is very much a journey of like, okay, let's realise what's happening here. Let's actually let this sink into my head. Let's understand what's going on, and let's try and do something about it. Let's try and realise what's happening. And yeah, so I started to get through that. I started to get into the motions, started to realise ways that I could do things. I'm recording a video, thank you.
See you later, bro.
Are you going?
Yeah.
Okay, wait, let me say goodbye to Ken. Goodbye, Ken. You're gonna feature on my video. Alright.
3 weeks, yeah?
3 weeks, man. See you later on. Sorry, Ken's been staying with me. Ken was here. Ken was one of the guys who definitely had a few jokes with me at the start about not being able to talk. Sorry, shut up. Yeah, Ken found it very funny. But yeah, so people reacted differently to me as well. That was something I had to experience at the start. Some people found it very funny. And that was annoying because I couldn't say anything to them, but I couldn't say anything back. But they were just like basically abusing it, and like they were having jokes. It was fun. It was banter, yeah. But you know, when everybody starts to do it, it gets a little bit like, oh, this kind of isn't pants. But some people really saw it as like a little bit of an inspirational, motivational thing. They were like, "Wow, oh, you're actually gonna do that? Like, are you serious about this? Like, are you for real? Wow, that's pretty impressive. I couldn't do that. I couldn't." And that came a lot. That started to come a lot. Started to come along. You know, I'm learning how to speak again. Just bear with me. But yeah, that started to come along quite a lot. Like, I'd say for the first 20 days, the first half of Lent, you know, slowly but surely, it started to become more of a thing of people started respecting me for what I was doing. People started saying like, "Oh wow, he is actually still doing it. It's not just a fad. It's not just a thing. It's actually he's gonna go through with this. Like this is pretty crazy." And yeah, like I kind of appreciate that a bit more than people saying like, "Oh hi Tom, oh how are you doing Tom? Why are you not talking Tom?" But it was definitely I preferred that interaction more where people were like, "Oh you're actually gonna do this? Well you know that's really good for you. Like it's really cool." And yeah, like so I started to get into the motions. I started to get into things, and I'm gonna admit after about the 20-day mark, about halfway through, it got easy. Like I know that's a weird thing to say, but I'd worked out what I was doing. I worked out what was going on. I worked out how to communicate. I'd been on a journey. I've been on a long journey to try and work out how life would work without a voice, but it can be done. And like some people warned me at the start. They were saying things like, you know, if you are going to do this, you know, you need to realise this is for God. You know, this is Lent. It's not about you. It's not about what you're getting out of it. It's about realising what you're going to do for God. And like how Jesus spent 40 days, you know, just the whole idea behind it. Like how that's supposed to impact in your life. Like it's supposed to make something out of you. It's supposed to grow something out of you. And so yeah, after the first 20 days, it got easy. And I decided it's not supposed to be easy. Like that's not what I wanted this to be. Like I didn't want to just work out how to not talk for 40 days and then be okay with the rest of my life and be like, yeah, I did it. Because that's not what it was about. So I decided after the first 20 days that I found it got easy because I was still in like a Christian bubble. So for people who aren't Christian, what that means is basically I surround myself with Christian people. You know, I hang out with Christian people. I go to church with Christian people. Go to youth group with Christian people. And because my university is a Christian theological college, we're all Christian. And like my life was just Christian. It's kind of ironic, but it's true. It was. So I decided to get out of my bubble, get out and actually go and experience what not talking would be like properly in like everywhere else. You know, to embrace the world and. Push myself out of my comfort zone, and I noticed quite a few things actually. How like Christian people approached it and how non-Christian people approached it was different. Christian people basically at the start they were like, I had to laugh about it, then they got respect for me about it, and after a while they just kind of like, okay yeah, it's just a thing that's happened, they forgot about it. Whereas like with non-Christian people, they probably were a bit more had a bit more of a laugh at me to start with, but they became, what's the word I'm looking for? I don't know, like it's kind of a respectful thing, but like they realised it was part of life and they embraced it, they accepted it, and like they were encouraging of it. Like consistently they were like, wow, this is fun. Like there was always jokes all the way through, but there was always respect all the way through as well. And I found that really interesting actually. Like it became a lot harder because I couldn't explain the idea of Lent properly without my voice. Otherwise I'd have to sit there and like type in a mini essay or like try and get someone else to explain out doing actions, but you can't really do that properly. Like so these people don't really understand why I'm doing what I'm doing. And that in a sense is a bit of a not very good like as outreach as evangelism, but it was good for me because I had to try and push myself. I had to try and like explain in different ways, in different manners, and like trying to really just get that message across and just trying to explain what was going on. And yeah, so like between day 20 and day 40 I really tried to get myself out of my bubble, go out and like experience other people, go out and experience life and the world, and it was tough. It was really tough. At some points, you know, it was really like I had highs and lows. I had highs and lows throughout the whole thing, but something God really talked to me in the second half of it, in the second 20 days, is the fact that this isn't about just being safe. This is actually about going and living out what he's asked me to do, going and living out not talking, and like see what it does. And I came across a massive variety of experiences, a massive array of life, and it's changed my outlook a lot. I got my hair cut, not directly because of Lent, but yeah, it's one of the things that happened, and I experienced life. I got a job. I actually got a job out of not talking. That was kind of ironic. I met like a bunch of new friends. I literally have like 20 or 30 new people that just weren't there, and I met them all without saying a word, and it's pretty crazy. And yeah, I didn't do it perfectly, you know. I didn't get through all 40 days like not talking at all. I took a little bit of time here, replaced it a little bit of time on Sunday and stuff like that, and when there was emergencies and I had to talk, I had to talk. Like, one of the low points was I basically had an argument with my parents, and it was tough. Especially because I hadn't spoken for something. I hadn't, at that point, I think it was like 30 or 35 days or something. I hadn't spoken, and like I had the ending in sight. Like towards the end, it was like, oh, this is getting really hard, man. Like I cannot wait until I get my voice back. But yeah, so I had an argument with my parents, and they put me in quite a bad mood. You know, when you argue with someone, it's never really you come out positive, do you? It's a negative thing. So, you know, I went away and I was on my own. I basically spent the afternoon and evening just walking around, doing my thing. You know, I had this thing where if I get stressed out, I'll just like make my own space, because I need my own space for a while, and it's just something I do. And being in that situation when I couldn't talk and just trying to realize, like, not realize, trying to, what's the word? I keep forgetting words, man. Like, I need to get back on my dictionary and stuff, especially about this 4 days. But yeah, so okay, I'll go with realizing. Just realizing that, you know, this was, sometimes, you know, it's not going to go perfectly. Sometimes it's not going to be right. Sometimes it's hard. You know, sometimes there are lows in this and there are lows in real life. But there are ways to deal with things, and like that's something that came across. Like at the start of the 40 days, this was a monumental task that I did not think I could finish. I didn't think I was going to get through it. Like, but then I was like, okay, I'm going to hype this up. I'm going to make it everywhere, like make everyone know, because then at least I feel stupid if I don't do it. So I'm going to do it. You know, I was trying to motivate myself a little bit, and like that kind of thing. But like that determination, that perseverance, that, yeah, I'm going to get through it attitude. Yeah, you know, it may be hard in a minute, but just keep pressing on. Sorry about that, it just stopped for some reason. That was weird. Anyway, yeah, so like I was saying, yeah, I was trying to keep press on, keep getting into it, and realize like I can get through this, I can do this, you know, and like that's one of the things that really developed out of me. So I got this sense of I can do this, you know, like it may be hard, but I'm going to keep going, I'm going to keep trying, I'm going to keep persevering, I'm going to get through this. And that's something that really helped when, unfortunately, you know, I did have an argument with my parents, but at the end of it I was like, well, you know, I'm going to get through this, I'm going to like, I want to go and rebuild that connection. I don't want to sit here in negativity, I don't want to do that. Like, and when I took my space away, that's when I realised some of these things that, you know, through these 40 days, I have learned a lot. I've been at high points, been at low points, like I was saying, but you know, I realised it wasn't about doing it perfectly, it wasn't about getting it right, and life is a lot like that. It's a bit like a ooh moment. What is that? But yeah, it's a bit like, you know, realising something in life is so significant, so important, that it doesn't matter if you do it right or wrong. So like the fact that I won my argument or lost my argument against my parents wasn't the important thing. The important thing is I go and repair my relationship with my parents, because that came out of it a lot. And yeah, so it was 40 days of chaos, 40 days of mental growth, mental challenging. It's kind of changed my outlook on how I see a Christian bubble, how I see church, how I see interacting with people, how playing it safe probably isn't a good option. It's a valid option, and if if you're comfortable in that, that's cool. I'm not going to say you have to go out and like not talk to Christian people, not do this and that. I'm not saying that. But what I'm saying is, for me, that's something I discovered. Like by not talking, I discovered that I need to communicate, and that was ironic, and it melted my brain when I tried to work out what it meant. I'm still a little bit unsure about what it means, but it was cool. You know, looking at the Great Commission. In the Bible it says like one of the last things Jesus said was like, you know, I've come, here I am, and now I want you to go. Like I've given you what I've given you. I want you to go out into the world, go make disciples in the nations. Like go meet people where they are. Go do what I did. Go be Christ-like. And that's a combination of what Jesus said, what Paul said and stuff. But that's for the theological people watching. But yeah, in not talking, I discovered a lot of this, and I discovered the power of what words can be, the power of what communication really is, and I learned a lot. And it's probably too much to go into video. It's probably a really long video already. I think it's like 15 minutes or something. So if you want to have a chat with me, just come and ask me. You know, ask me any questions. Drop me a Facebook message. Drop me a text. You know, I love this thing. It saved my life. Yeah, drop me a message. You know, just come and talk to me in person. And bear with me. I'm still trying to learn how to talk again a little bit. But yeah, I'm more than happy to talk you through it. Just talk about whatever I learned, talk about what it means, and like, it's a journey, man. Life is a journey. You need to be able to talk to people, you need to be able to communicate with people, and something I discovered in not talking. So yeah, 40 days of craziness, 40 days of physical and mental torture and anguish, but relief, but also growing and learning, adapting, and just seeing the limits of, well, not limits, just pushing the boundaries of my understanding of communication, my understanding of talking, my understanding of interaction with people is really crazy. So yeah, come and chat to me about it, come and ask me about it, and it's 40 days of chaos. Will I do it again? I have no idea. Let's go see what happens next year, man. So yeah, peace out.